Hello and welcome once again to the Mental Health Hub. It's our normal Tuesday where we share information about mental health or health and living, especially as concerns mental health and wellness of yourself, myself, and the people that we care about. I want to really say thank you for keeping me motivated to be able to do these episodes over and over again. What motivates me actually is the fact that I get feedback from you and I see that you're able to interact and you are learning. It gives me great pleasure when I really know that somebody is gaining from the information we are sharing every Tuesday. It is helping an individual, it is helping a family, it is helping a decision maker somewhere to know what to do with the well-being of the people that they work with or that they relate with. This is very motivating, and I hope that we can be able to keep this platform on continuously. So today, again, I want to look at a very important aspect of life, something that is really emerging to be a challenge in the society, the issue suicide. Suicide is becoming increasingly high numbers of people are committing suicide globally, even in the nation. In the society, you hardly finish a week without seeing an incident of suicide in the family or in the on our screens. You hardly finish a week without hearing a situation where somebody has killed the family, killed a member of the family, even killed several people in the family. Homicide is becoming rampant. And suicide is a very important aspect that we need to be able to address, simply because life, people have a right to live. Even this individual who commits suicide has a right to live. You may ask, what is suicide? Suicide is death that occurs where one actually harms themselves or takes their own lives. That is suicide. Suicide attempt is where one tries to harm themselves, but they have not been successful to do it. So they attempted suicide. People have suicidal ideations where one thinks of taking their own life or killing themselves. If we may use it as is, it's because it's about killing yourself or having thoughts to kill yourself. It is common and it is in itself not a mental illness, but it is an indicator that one has a mental illness. I need to clarify this, whereby I'm saying the fact that somebody has committed suicide or has attempted suicide or has suicidal ideations, they have thought, they have even planned how to do it. They have seen themselves succeeding, even in their own mind, in doing this. This is suicidal ideation, and it is an indicator that one has a mental health issue that needs to be addressed. That's why it is important we look at it. As I said, everyone has a right to life. The law of God says so. The law of the land says so. You have a right to live. The other family member has a right to live. The person at the workplace has a right to live. So, as we look at it from that perspective, that nobody needs to take their life, because this person is important. They are contributing to the growth of our economy. They have a role in the society. They have a role in the family. They have a role or a part they are playing as individuals. They have a right to live. So, in looking at the issue of suicide, we know that suicide is what triggers it, or what makes one want to commit suicide or even commit suicide is hopelessness, worthlessness, social isolation, the loneliness that this person may be suffering. Whereby you may hear loneliness and you ask, this person doesn't live in the world alone. This person doesn't live in this family alone. This person is not in the workplace alone. They have people around themselves. So that's why you ask people, you hear people asking, and why did they do this? Why did you think of killing yourself? The stresses of life. People are going through a lot of challenges. Financial conflicts in the family level, relationship issues, debts. So many things. Others have even mental disorders that are underlying. Substance use disorders that could be underlying the suicidal ideation or the suicide attempts that one is faced with. Mental disorders like depression, bipolar disorders, anxiety. All these could be a challenge that this person is trying to run away from themselves. Because that is what suicide is all about, trying to run away from yourself. You are so uncomfortable with you. You are so uncomfortable with yourself that you actually want to end your life, or you plan how to end your life. Abuse also may underlie suicide, where one has been either sexually abused, psychologically abused, to an extent that they feel they are worthless. Neglect. Person maybe who has a sickness or even old age, where this person feels that nobody values me, I'm neglected, or even children who feel that they are being neglected. Chronic diseases, where somebody is suffering from a disease and they have told themselves enough is enough. I have no business living. This all underlie suicide. Suicidal attempts is also dependent on the availability of the item or the medium that one uses to commit suicide. Oftentimes you find fatality being either because of the instruments that one used to commit suicide. Is it available? You find people buying medicine that they overdose themselves to death. You find people using sharp objects like even a panga, or using a rope to hang themselves, using a gun to shoot yourself. Is it available? People make efforts. This person makes the effort to acquire an instrument that they can use to end their life. What does this tell us? That this person has planned. They have thought about it. They have planned how to execute it. To an extent, they have taken time to even acquire or buy the medicine that they will use to overdose themselves. Ensure that nobody is around. They are planning. But often there is a cry for help. If you look back, you realize that somebody was making a cry for help by the way they talked, by the way they behaved. This person got careless recently. They didn't care if they eat or not. They didn't care what they are doing with their life. They are living a risky life, and even verbalizing or saying that you don't like me, even if I am not here, nobody will, who will be hurt by my being absent. What does it matter? You don't love me, the family doesn't care, the workplace, I am being mistreated. All those things. These messages, if somebody intercepted and gave support, this person would have been saved or would have been helped not to commit suicide. Substance abuse doesn't make it any easier, because when somebody is intoxicated, when somebody is abusing substances, they have a substance use disorder. It can even I mean, it compromises their ability to think. It compromises their cognitive faculty, so that when they think of ending their life, they will spiral towards doing the same. So substance abuse doesn't make it any easier. And that's why we emphasize that prevention is better than cure. And especially if somebody has a mental disorder that is underlying the substance use underlying the substance use disorder, or a mental disorder alongside the substance use disorder, the risk for ending their life is there. And that's why it is important for us to work very hard to prevent use of substances, abuse of substances, initiation of substance use. Because when one initiates, the likelihood of spiraling to dependence, or what we refer to as addiction, to an extent that this person gets hopeless, loses meaning in life, devalues themselves to an extent of saying, I have no business living. Some substance use disorders, depending on what substances, they also have hallucinations. They are deluded. They will see as if somebody is chasing them. They will see as if they will hear voices of people even telling, or somebody telling them to kill themselves. And that's where also suicide comes in. So substance use disorders, we need to really be able to address them, so that we can be able to address issues suicide in the society. For most of the cases of suicide, if that is investigated well, you'll always hear this person was using this substance or another, this person has lived a careless life, this person threatened before, it's not the first time they have attempted suicide, this person and earlier threatened the family member, they had told their family member that they will kill them, and every time they come drunk or intoxicated, that's the time they said such things. But you ask yourself, when all this was being said, why didn't somebody stop this person from going to the extent of committing suicide? Because once suicide has happened, life has been lost. A resource person has been lost. A family member has been lost. A person who was contributing to the economy of the nation has been lost. It is a loss, not only to the person who has died, but to the family, to the society. And with the rampant increase, or the increase of people committing suicide in the society, doesn't make it any better. And I believe, and I know, that substance use oftentimes is behind this increasing number of suicide incidences. And that's why, as individuals, as a society, as family, as organizations, we have to be able to focus on suicide prevention. As we talk about issues health, suicide prevention strategies need to be put in place, so that as a family, as an individual, you can be aware of the thought process of yourself, so that you can catch yourself before that thought becomes an action, before that thought triggers feelings of worthlessness, sadness, hunger, hate, to an extent that you devalue yourself, or you look at the other family members, you hate them, to an extent that you find they have no worth, but they need to be killed, so that you kill this person. Remember, there are those others who will kill the members of the family and kill themselves, because they kind of think they are helping this person to go to live a less troubling life, where a member of the family, maybe a spouse, kind of says, I am not going to die and leave my children suffering. So you find this person kills the children and kills the spouse and kills themselves. oftentimes underlying substance use disorders. Let us be alert in the society. Let us be alert as individuals so that I can listen to myself. Let us have time to reflect on what is going on with our mind. Let us not take this very complex matter, because the mind is a very complex organ. You may say, me, I can never attend, but you don't know what may trigger it. So that's what I am saying, that we need to be alert of our own selves and alert what is happening around us in the family, even at the workplace, so that we can be able to prevent suicide in the society, so that we can be able to contribute to reducing the number of people we are losing to suicide or even homicides, because it is not a good day in the society. And as I said, remember, suicide is an indicator that there is a mental illness that needed to be addressed. So as we address health, let us address issues health in a holistic way so that we can have our people living a productive life, a life that is enhanced. I hope we have learned something today. I look forward to another opportunity to speak to you, and I still remind us that let us like, share, and subscribe so that we can continue this conversation. And as usual, I would want to ask you to send your comments. You see the contact that you can use to reach out to me so that we can continue this conversation. Thank you, and look forward to another opportunity.